Good morning, my dear friends. Namaste. Welcome to day 6 of our breath by breath, step by step learning of Anapanasati meditation. So we've been learning multiple steps every day, and yesterday we began the second step in our Anapanasati meditation. So we will practice that today. So before that, I see a hand raised. Sugna ma'am, did you have some question? It's not working. If you didn't have a question, that's okay. Okay, all right. All right. So yesterday we saw the keys to effective meditation, right breathing, conscious breathing, or conscious breathing in the sense being aware of your breathing, and non-judgmental breathing, not judging. For example, yesterday we followed the path of our breathing. So some of you couldn't feel here, some of you couldn't feel here. Someone said, I can feel only my stomach. That's okay. So wherever you are able to observe your breath, breath after breath after breath after breath, with a little bit more awareness, that should be fine. And you know this cycle, right? Follow the cycle of your breath, beginning, ending. I don't know how many of you are able to identify the start of inhale, end of inhale, beginning of your out breath, end of your out breath. If any of you have been able to find this 4 point and follow it closely, at least for a few minutes, please type yes in the chat window. So for some, as we go deep into our attention, we'll be able to spot that breath. Again, these are all techniques to allow you to stay engaged with your breath and not allow your mind to wander. All right. So again, okay, very good. There's few people were able to follow that. Nice. All right. So again, today we will dive into our process of meditation soon, and later, after that, we will cover a little bit about our mental body. And happy Yoga Day. So today being Yoga Day, we'll also cover wisdom from Patanjali's Yoga Sutras about the mind. And that's also the mental body wisdom that we will learn, and how breath helps in understanding the right wisdom. So today we'll continue like we did yesterday, a little bit more time for the following step, so that anyone have any issues with that, you can always discuss that, right? So today again, 10 minutes of relaxation, warm up as we do always, right? And then 20 minutes of being aware of the nose, developing the skill of concentration, and 15 minutes of following your breath as we do this, right? I'll explain that a little bit, and we'll end with a little bit of gratitude. So 10 minutes of equal breathing, all of us know, and 20 minutes of allowing your breath. That the whole point of that step is to make sure you are not missing any breath, right? You follow breath after breath after breath after breath. That is the whole point. For that is why we focus at the entrance to your nose on the upper lip, or anywhere the tip of your nose, or here, or anywhere. You just need to focus on that point. Again, not with strain. You have to focus, relaxed focus, and the whole goal is: am I able to look at my breath, observe my breath continuously for 2 minutes, for 3 minutes, for 10 minutes, right? That itself develops concentration. And then the last 15 minutes, we will observe the path of our breath. We'll follow the breath. When we say follow or observe, it is about feeling the sensation, because you're not seeing it with your eyes. You're seeing it with the eyes of your energy body. How is that? Sensations. So you'll feel any sensations as the breath goes into your nose and then goes into your pharynx region, and then it comes to your lungs, right? And then lungs again, you can't feel whether it went through this lung or this lung. General movement, and then that will push your tummy, right? So feel the movement. And then similarly, what happens as you, but this all happens very instantaneously, right, in microseconds. It's not that though I'm explaining you in slow motion, you can't really observe all that. The moment you feel your in-breath, you'll feel your tummy expanding. That's fine. As long as you're able to connect these two, that means you're following the breath. And as you expand your awareness, you'll start feeling a lot. All right. So any questions before we dive into our practice for today? All clear? Pretty easy, just following the breath, nothing more, nothing esoteric here. All right. So with that, let's dive into today's practice of meditation, my dear friends. Get into a comfortable posture. Remove your spectacles. Clasp your fingers like this. Allow it to rest on your lap. Sit in your right posture. Relaxed. Close your eyes and slowly bring your attention to your nose and start doing the equal breathing method. Continue to breathe in long, easy, smooth. And as you breathe in, count the length of your breath. We want it to be equal. Again, no worries it's not about accuracy. It's about being conscious of your counting. As you breathe in, long, easy, smooth, count 1, 2, 3, 4. As you breathe out, count 1, 2, 3, 4. Do not hold your breath. No deep breathing, just smooth and easy breathing. You should breathe in so light, long, and smooth, such that the person next to you wouldn't even know that you are doing equal long breathing. And as you breathe in and breathe out, just feel the movements in your stomach. As you breathe in, the stomach should go out. As you breathe out, your stomach will automatically come in. By now, we must have perfected this equal breathing. This is the relaxation step in our breathfulness practice. This is something you can practice any time of the day to get some relaxation. Be aware of your conscious breathing. Be aware of your counting. Be aware of the movements in your belly. Smooth, long, easy inhale. Smooth, long, easy exhale. No strain in any part of the body. Feel your body relaxing. Feel your mind calming down. Feel yourself one with your breath, with the rhythm of your slow inhale and exhale. Do not judge, do not think. You're grounding yourself. You're grounding your body and mind to a practice of breathfulness. You are signaling your mind and body not to disturb you for the next 40 minutes through this implicit intention of the relaxation part. Two more minutes of equal breathing, relaxation, warm up. with that feeling of groundedness, with that feeling of relaxation, my dear friends. Now let's move into the first step of our meditation for today. Let go of the counting, let go of conscious breathing. Bring your attention to the entrance of your nose. Pick some point on your upper lip or inside your nose, on top of your nose. And then place your attention only there and start observing what is happening as you breathe normally, naturally. Just relax and become an observer of what is happening at your nose. Feel the sensation, feel the air as your breath goes into your nose and out of your nose several times a minute. For the next 20 minutes, all your attention and awareness is only at your nose. Nothing else, nowhere else. Your goal is to ensure you are able to be with your every breath continuously. All your attention and awareness at your nose, feeling, observing your every breath. This is an exercise for developing concentration. If you are bothered by distractions, thoughts frequently, then you can apply any of the techniques that you've learned. Labeling, counting from 1 to 10, 1 to 10, connecting the different points of your breath. Everything that we do needs attention. Keep your body relaxed, my dear friends. Feel the calmness and power of concentration without straining any part of your body. Keep your forehead relaxed. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Keep your fingers relaxed. Do not strain your eyes. Feel the way you are observing your breath. Wonderful. Continue to observe your every breath. It's a wonderful feeling of calmness, of emptiness. Continue to be with your breath, my dear friends. Patriji says, your breath is your guru. The breath, our guru, is teaching us the skill of concentration through this step. Do not lose the streak of continuous observation of your breathing. When you're able to do that for a longer duration, then your meditation has moved into the next deeper state. It comes through practice, nothing to worry. Excellent. Continue to be with your breath at your nose 10 more minutes of this step of focusing and developing your attention. Only thing that should occupy your awareness and mind is your every breath at your nose, nothing else. Be with your breath, my dear friends. Keep your mind focused at your nose on every breath that enters and leaves your nose. Do not bother to pay attention to any other sensations anywhere else. No judgment, no analysis, no thinking. The more number of continuous breaths you're able to place attention, you're able to observe, you are gaining that many points in the progress of your meditation. Excellent. Feel the calmness, feel the emptiness in your mind. 5 more minutes of observing your breath at your nose in a relaxed, continuous attention manner. Continue the process of observing your breath at your nose. Do not engage in thoughts or distractions. Use the techniques if needed. Just be with your breath at your nose. Feel the joy of paying attention to every breath. Observe who is observing the breath. It's your consciousness. Excellent, my dear friends. Now, let us move into the next step, which is following your breath while keeping your attention continuously on your every breath. Expand your awareness to feel or observe other sensations or movements due to your breathing, just in your nose, your throat, your chest, and your stomach. You can connect all these as you breathe in and breathe out every moment. First, feel the moment in your stomach. Just now you felt the sensations in your nose, connect both of them. Then slowly see if you are able to be aware of sensations in your throat region, in your chest, your movements in your chest, along with the movements in your stomach. Again, we are going to follow or observe the sensations due to your breathing, not any other sensations. All other sensations we ignore, just due to your breathing in this pathway of your breath. This is following your breath. This is what will happen when we gain concentration on every breath. No thinking, no analysis. If you're able to feel or not feel your breath in different parts, just be whatever you are able to be aware of. The next 13 minutes, we just follow our breath. Feel your breath flowing beautifully from your nose to your lungs through the windpipe back out of your nose. Feel all the movements it makes in the path to the lungs and the movements in your stomach. Ignore all other sensations, thoughts, distractions. Well, the first step gave you the peace and emptiness in mind. This step should give you the joy of following your breath, the sensations, the rhythmic movements, so wonderfully happening without having you to do anything consciously. Do not change your breath, do not alter your breath. Follow every part of your breath. 10 more minutes of watching your breath flow from your nose to your lungs and back out of your nose. Do not engage in thoughts, no judgment. Continue to follow your breath, my dear friends. Your breath is your guru. We are learning a lot of things from our breath. Attention, concentration, awareness, mindfulness, non-judgment. Oneness. The Buddhists call this phase as the observing your whole breath. Observing your whole beautiful breath. Last 5 minutes of observing your whole long, beautiful breath. Do not alter your breathing, just observe your breath as it flows from your nose into your body and out of your body through your nose. Trace the path it takes from your nose to your lungs and out. Feel the joy of the rhythm of your natural breathing. Feel the joy of an undistracted mind. Observe how your breath flows in and out so seamlessly, naturally. When you don't disturb it through our thoughts and emotions. Last 2 minutes of observing your whole breath. Stay relaxed. Wonderful, my dear friends. Now slowly move your attention to your heart region and express deep gratitude to your wonderful breath. Feel grateful for your wonderful body that's reaping the benefits of your wonderful breathing. Say thank you to your mind for not allowing you to be distracted, allowing you to be staying focused. Feel grateful to your whole self for being with the practice today. Feel grateful to all the people around you. Say thank you to all the situations that are helping you move forward. With that feeling of gratitude, focus, and joy, Let's emerge from today's meditation practice, my dear friends. Become aware of your body. Become aware of your surroundings. Slowly unclasp your fingers and place your palms on your eyes for a few seconds. And then you can open your eyes gently. Wonderful. How many of you were able to follow your breath much better than yesterday's first session? You can type yes. Much better today, very good. That is all. It's all about the practice. We continue to do the practice. We will get our rewards. Super. And by the way, we are, I think, in the middle of this course. We are in day 6. So just 5 more days to go. So how many of you are able to feel your days are a little bit better? You're able to feel a sense of calmer. You're able to respond instead of react. You're able to feel the benefit of this morning practice. How many of you are able to do that? Just say good on the chat window. Because 5 days of diligent practice definitely should be very helpful at a few moments in the time, in the day. Yes, few hours in the calm, good. Little better, getting aware every day. Yes, it will have an impact. And that is the whole objective. The goal of us doing this practice is not to attain nirvana immediately. It is for us to go about our everyday jobs a little bit more efficiently, a little bit more joyfully, a little bit more peacefully. And that little bit will continue to increase as our practice increases. We'll be able to focus more on everyday job. Wonderful. And my usual question, how many of you practiced mindful walking yesterday? Any feedback? Practiced? Did you find it different? Or there were friends who came and disturbed you? Yes. So some of you practiced mindful walking. Very good. So that's the walking meditation. Again, you apply the same things, attention, awareness, and non-judgment. Walking was wonderful. You feel, you see you see things, you see that wonderful tree, you see the wonderful flowers or the fruits in the tree, which you may have walked past thousands of times the last few years, but you never noticed. And some people will even say, I didn't even notice the tree was there, right? Or could be anything else. So wonderful. So again, today, please continue the practice of mindful walking along with your other mindfulness practices. And an important thing, tomorrow we are going to do the body scan meditation. Some of you might be aware. It's going to be a bit longer, maybe taking a little bit over than 60 minutes, a little bit over than 1 hour. So we will not have any wisdom session tomorrow because body scan is nothing but a process of allowing your body to be desensitized, allowing your body. So we'll walk from the toes to the head and slowly feel the sensations in different parts of the body. I'll walk you through and you just observe those different parts of your body throughout the 1 hour. Usually takes a minimum of 1 hour or a little bit more. And it's like your body massage just through your awareness and attention. Right? You breathe in and breathe out throughout your body and very relaxing. It's supposed to be very relaxing. So tomorrow is Sunday. We'll spend a little bit more time on that, and then you'll feel the relaxation throughout your Sunday, because it's also essential for us to move to the next step, which is feeling your breath flow through your body. We're going to, through this exercise, we're going to remove or make you more aware of the different nadis in your body, so that in the next step, you'll feel the energy flow throughout your body, and that's going to be really blissful. All right, so we covered today's exercise and continue to do the exercise. And today being Yoga Day, and naturally, we're also going to talk about our next kosha, which is what is it? Which is the mental body, Manomaya kosha. So we will talk a bit about Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. So Patanjali, I'm sure, I know a lot of you probably would have practiced or followed the Yoga Sutras. Yoga Sutras are nothing but a text of with 196 sutras or aphorisms, they say in English. And it's nothing to do with, or it's not much to do with Hatha Yoga, which is mostly the emphasis or importance of today's International Yoga Day, but it focuses more on the mind. I was astonished to find how it talks a lot about mind and practices to manage our mind. One of the practices, what we are practicing already. All right. So we all know from neuroscience, most of our mind chatter, we are all working, we're all doing a lot of things throughout the day. We are in a society surrounded by devices, surrounded by a lot of information, surrounded by people. And naturally, there are some social norms that we try to follow. And that's where the whole chatter in the mind, noise in the mind comes up. And research has shown 90% of that noise or thoughts in our mind comes subconsciously, automatically, and only 10% comes from our willful thinking, right? All the scare, oh my God, what will other people think? Oh, I'm not able to feel my breath. Is there something wrong? All those kind of negative chatter comes from the subconscious mind. So Vedic scriptures talk about at any point of time, our mind is in one of these five states, right? Our mind is either lethargic, very dull, very, it's called the Mudha state, almost like dull, like a donkey. Again, no offense to the animals, but I'm just using a graphic that's available. Or it will be restless, like a monkey. We call it a monkey mind, another common uh, use in both Zen and yogic scriptures. So our mind jumps from one place to another. We want to do something now. Next moment, oh my God, what will happen to that? I want to do that. I want to do that. We are not focused. So restless mind, or a mind that is distracted, always distracted. You're not able to focus at all because there are a ton of things happening around you in your mind. Distracted like a butterfly, keeps on going around, right? Or it is in a concentrated ekagra mind, ekagra state, which is what happened the last 45 minutes for all of us, or most of us. And then the goal is to get into that niruddha state where everything is calm, everything is peaceful. Everything happens as it should happen. You don't need to spend more time. The goal of all yoga, Hatha Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, right? And then we are talking about Raja Yoga, which is Dhyana Yoga, Jnana Yoga. Ultimately, if it is called yoga, the goal of yoga is to get to that Niruddha state. And that is what Patanjali starts off with. What is yoga? Yoga is stilling the fluctuations of the mind. Yoga is chitta vritti nirodha. So what does that mean? Yoga means the union of the body, mind, and your inner intelligence. More often than not, our inner intelligence is not allowed to speak. We are not able to listen to that inner intelligence because the noise in the mind, in the subconscious mind, is preventing us to listening to that intuition, that insight, the thing that we should do, the thing we shouldn't do, and all that. Right? That is because your body is also not cooperating. So the union of body, mind, and inner intelligence, union of your body, your breath, your mind, and inner intelligence. That's what is yoga. And how do we achieve that? By stilling, the silencing the fluctuations, the modifications, the tendencies, the distractions of our mind or our consciousness, which is our chitta. So Patanjali talks about all this in 4 long chapters. The first is the sadhana pada, the samadhi pada, which talks about what is that samadhi state. Samadhi state is nothing but when all the fluctuations of the mind stop and you are in that yogic calmness, yogic deep concentration, ekagrata, right? And then he talks about the sadhana pada, which is all the practices. It talks about a lot of meditation techniques, a lot of breathwork techniques, about how to get to this particular state. What are all the disturbances? What are the distractions that happen if you're not following, right? And then there is the Vibhuti Pada, which talks about the uh, extra, what is the human powers, the siddhis that you get once you practice all this, the way he's laid out the sadhana. And then the last chapter is the Kaivalya Pada, which is talks about what is liberation. How does an enlightened man or woman be? Right. So I think more or less Patanjali's Yoga Sutra is like a summary or a compendium of all the yogic scriptures, including Bhagavad Gita, including texts from Buddhists. In fact, in my own research, I was always been curious, and my area of interest is to compare Yoga Sutras and yogic wisdom to Buddhist wisdom. And then it was fascinating to find a lot of common things between what Buddha said and what Patanjali has documented in his Yoga Sutras. All right. So yoga is nothing but the um, silencing the fluctuations of the mind, which are the vrittis. Right. What are the vrittis? He talks about 5 types of vrittis. We're not going to deep too much in this. So pramana, viparyaya, vikalpa, nidra, and smriti. So there is, let's start with the begin. So we all know the vritti of sleep. We feel sleepy, we sleep, right? There again, we always measure sleep by the quality and quantity of sleep. And then the other state, other vritti is memory, long-term memory, memories of good things, memories of bad things, memories of people, situations, feelings, right? Our mind is either, if it is not sleeping, it's in the state of recollecting things, recalling our past, right? Or assuming or daydreaming about the future, imagination and illusion. You can always see your mind is always in one of these states. Or we could be harboring incorrect knowledge, all the fake news, beliefs, right, assumptions, all those are incomplete. We do something based on a certain belief. So those are all indirect knowledge. And then there is something called correct knowledge, which Patanjali says is you experience itself. Even Buddha talks about it. Wisdom is nothing but experienced knowledge or experienced truth. So even if I'm telling you, hey, do meditation, your health will improve, your mind will become calmer, you will get into insights and intuitions. It is all still incorrect knowledge to you until you experience it. And that is why it's very important. That is why I asked you that question. Are you really experiencing something different in your everyday life because of this practice? The answer is yes, you will, because we all know. And the moment you experience, you'll know, that is what I need to be in that state. So correct knowledge is experienced, inferred from the scriptures or texts or reading about other people's experiences. That's testimonial, right? Someone said, for example, someone says, if you touch the fire, it's going to be hot. Your finger will burn, right? Everyone doesn't need to experience it, right? Because someone has shown this is how it used to be, or you've seen someone else going through that experience, right? So that is what is correct knowledge. So this is fine. It is okay to be any of these vrittis, any of these states of mind. All right, at any point of time, it's okay to daydream. It's okay to have incorrect knowledge. It's okay to have memory about different people. It's okay to get into the sleep state. And it's always fine to have correct knowledge. These are the fluctuations of the mind, right? When these fluctuations of the mind become incorrect or bothersome is when they are colored with these 5 kleshas. Patanjali talks about these 5 kleshas: avidya, ashmita, raga, dvesha, and abnivesha, which is ignorance, not having the right knowledge, right? So we all been through the COVID situation. We've all seen our near and dear, our friends, our family going through the transition from this world to the next, right? At that time, if we didn't have the knowledge of how world works, obviously a lot of us went through grief, went through sorrow. That is because of ignorance how the world works, how life works, right? So ignorance, ego, I need to maintain my identity. So ignorance leads to the belief in ego, and ego is what drives attachment and aversion. Attachment is desire. I want this, right? I want that situation. I want that job. I want that interview. I want that pleasure. I want that person to be around with me. All that is attachment. And aversion is I don't like to be in that situation. I don't like that person. I don't like the job. I don't like that particular taste of food, right? And then fear of death, obviously, but fear of your losing your identity, fear of losing that attachment, fear of doing things that I don't like. So these are the five kleshas. When your mind is colored, your thinking is colored with any of these five kleshas, that causes suffering. Buddha's way also was the same thing, right? How do you avoid suffering? There are the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path. We'll talk about it in one of the later classes, right? So these are the five kleshas. It's okay to be thinking, it's okay to have that memory, it's okay to believe in something. But when those result in these five kleshas, then it is worrisome, then it causes suffering, right? And most of our, if you look at it, there are again some kind of 16 things that cause that mind chatter, the vrittis colored with kleshas, right? Expectations, attachment to people, things, thoughts, ideologies, people, right and wrong. This is what is right, this is what is wrong. Our complexity, right? What do you call that? Inferiority complex, superiority complex, because we compare things, we keep judging, not accepting what I have. We always feel I am lacking something, right? And then agitation, worries about the future, regret about the past, fear of injury, death, and thinking for others. We don't think for ourselves. We think, oh, that person should be like that. What will my parents do when they grow old? What is someone doing when you are away from them? So all these are thinking and worries. These are all the mind chatter. And the mind, all those are codified in the mind according to Sankhya philosophy, according to yogic scriptures. Our mind has these four parts: Mano, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. Manas, Chitta, memory, and consciousness. Ahamkara is the ego, and Buddhi is a discriminative faculty, the intellect, right? In modern terms, this is what we use. So all the memory, all the imprints, all our beliefs, assumptions, attitudes, desires, emotional patterns, everything is stored in the chitta. It's in our memory, it's in our storehouse, right? And there are imprints that come from past lives as well. For example, some people are so scared of certain animals, maybe a lizard, maybe a dog, right? So that is coming from an imprint. And some people have exceptional talent. They are musical prodigies at the age of 3 or 5. Where did they get all that from? From their past births, from their previous lives. So all our talents, innate talents, come from our past life. They're all stored here. Both good and bad are stored here, right? And then our emotional mind, which is manas, that looks at this and then colors it, that looks at the sensations. It receives all the things through the five senses, and then our intellect adds a label to it, thinking and emotional mind. This is good, this is bad. You're feeling sad, right? You're feeling good about that particular situation, right? And then the narrating mind tells you, oh yeah, you shouldn't go there. Sai, that is not for you. You are a certain person. What will other people think? This is the what gives all the narration, right? So this all happens at the subconscious level. This happens at the conscious level. And we'll cover a little bit more about this when we talk a little bit more about mental attitudes. This is just a modern representation of the antakarna, the manobuddhi, chitta, ahankara, right? And how meditation helps, right? So as you continue to do the practice of meditation, the beauty about mindfulness meditation, of course, a lot of you have felt the calmness in your mind because You are able to feel a lot more of conscious moments. Earlier, you are able to, out of 4 minutes, and maybe 2 minutes, you are conscious. The remaining 3 minutes, you are absorbed in your mind chatter. Now you are able to have more moments of consciousness. We call those moments of consciousness, moments of awareness, moments of peace, right? And then you are able to control, know your chatter. Oh, that's my mind speaking. You're able to listen to the noise or the chatter or the voice of your mind and say, that is not me. I don't need to react that way. I need to respond. So slowly that will start happening. And the beautiful thing is, a lot of those stored bad habits, bad thinking patterns, fears, clinging, craving, attachment automatically fall off because of the process that happens in meditation. There is a wonderful book called The Mind Illuminated by Robert Koladasa. It's like this fat book. I'm having that in my bookshelf here. So it talks about the whole entire process, the internals of what happens in your mind as you go through Anapanasati meditation. It's a textbook for people who want to teach meditation. Right? It automatically, suddenly you'll see as you continue the practice, suddenly you feel that klesha, some fear that you had goes away. That attachment that you have goes away. You don't even need to do anything. That's the beauty of meditation. Whereas the cognitive behavioral therapy allows you to be, you have to do it consciously. Here it subconsciously cleanses a lot of stuff. And again, Patanjali talks about two things. How do we still the mind's fluctuations? It's through abhyasa vairagya abhyan tannirodha. Through practice and through non-attachment, the fluctuations of the mind automatically subside. What is practice? Practice of awareness every day, not just about meditation. You'll have to practice awareness, practice mindfulness every moment in your life. You're having food, mindfulness. You are aware, attention, non-judgment. You are talking to someone, you are walking, you are doing your work. Every moment of the time, you are supposed to be aware. That's practice, every practice. And then not getting attached to always letting go. That moment has passed, being in the present moment. Oh, I didn't do something, that's okay, let it go. Something happened or not happened, let it go. So always letting go of attachment to people, things, concepts. And that when you do this, you'll feel that freedom, you feel that liberation, the kaivalya that Patanjali talks about, right? You practice with faith, with energy, with consistency, with courage, with patience, with focus. Basically, trust what you're doing, and then you go through, then you let go of whatever you see is unhelpful. That's where he's laid out this eightfold practice of yama, niyama, asana, pranayama. All of some of you might know Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. Right, and then most of the time we are practicing this, the top five in our daily practice. Pranayama, observing our breath, relaxation. Pratyahara, closing our eyes, ignoring all other things outside. Dharana, concentration, the first step of what we are doing, focusing at the entrance to our nose. And slowly we get into the dhyana, we're observing our breath. And once all this we do, then we realize that state of samadhi, that ekagrata. I showed you that graphic on the deeper states of mind, you achieve samadhi. And to do all this, when your posture is easy and right, and we observe certain rules, niyamas, certain things of not, certain things that we should not do, and certain things we should do automatically to help the practice. It will help your regulate the consumption of food. It will help regulate the consumption of information that you get. It will tell you what to do, what not to do, so that you don't regret. You don't worry about the future. You don't regret about the past. That's the whole yoga. And then when you do that, what happens? Is he says tada drasta swarupe avasthanam. When we follow these practice, when we continue to do the practice and non-attachment, it gives us that inner peace. It gives us that stillness of the mind. There's a wonderful quote by Swami Vivekananda, which says your mind is like a lake. Bottom of the lake is um, your mind is like a lake which has full of leaves on top of it. It's muddy and there are a lot of waves. And your thoughts are like the waves on the lake. There is waves and there is a lot of dirt, you're not able to see at the bottom of the lake, which is your inner intelligence, which is your intuition, right? So how do we see the bottom of the lake? Only by removing all the dirt and stilling the lake, right? Making the lake not murky, but calming the lake. And that is what we do through the practice. Those lakes are vrittis, those waves are vrittis, those dirt and colors and then all the rubbish are the kleshas. Once you clear your mind of all that, then you're able to stay connected to your inner intelligence. That's what Patanjali says. And all spiritual practices allow you, pretty much say the same thing with a different, different approaches. All right. So we took a bit more of time today. So thank you, my dear friends. And it's again a very high level, top level wisdom of Patanjali from just one of his chapters. We will cover a little bit more, I think, in one of the sessions if we have time, but we cover it in our retreats and workshops. All right. So with that, I hope it was useful. Understanding mind from a scriptural perspective. We will also understand mind from Buddhist perspective and neuroscience for the next few days. And as I said, yesterday, as I said, tomorrow we will be doing the body scan practice, body scan meditation. All right, I'll guide you through that. Now we are open for questions. Any questions anyone wants to ask, please raise your hand. The Zoom hand will allow you to talk. Otherwise, if you have any questions, please feel free to type on the chat window. I think you can mute yourself. Allow participants to. Yes. Let me look at the any questions on the chat window. Yeah, counting and connection works for me. Wonderful. Few seconds of blissfulness. You will get many hours of blissfulness. Don't worry. Very calm. Good. Wonderful. Nice to see that you are able to realize, feel that awareness, feel the change in your consciousness during the day. What's the difference between connecting and following? That's a question. Connecting is basically you connect to the, your focus is only on the breath when you're focusing your attention at your breath, you can be able to connect it much. So all you're worried about is the start of your in-breath, end of your in-breath, start of your out-breath and end of your out-breath. That is all. You connect the different points of your breath. You don't follow the path. Whereas in following, we expand that awareness. We connect it to the body parts that the breath flows. So it's the focus between, if you look at it, connecting, the focusing or attention part is like 70%. And the awareness part is probably 30 or 40%, 60 to 70% and 40 to 40%. Whereas in following, awareness is probably 70% and attention is probably 30 or 40%. After the equal breathing stage, when we do the meditation, is it okay to keep count of the number of breaths? I'm able to focus for longer that way. If that is helpful, that is okay. If you're able to count the number of breaths, but ultimately for you to get deeper into the deeper states, you'll have to drop counting. You can always do that. The book name is Mind Illuminated. It's called The Mind Illuminated by Kuladasa, Culadasa. You can see it on Amazon. So that's a very big book. If you really are committed to learning about it, it's like our college textbooks, those big ones. So mind is not part of the body. Good question. Mind is, yes, the short answer is mind is not part of the body, right? Your body is one part of your whole consciousness. That's why we always talk about body, mind, soul. Body, mind, soul. You might have heard about it, right? Body is your physical body. Yesterday we saw energy body is totally different, and mind, your mental body is different. But they're all aligned. Your mind has an influence of your body is also influence on your mind. So we talked about the 5 koshas, 5 dimensions, 5 layers. So each of those are your self, your being, a human being, right? It's part of it. Yes, mind is not part of the body, but the mind functions through the body. We say brain, for example, most of the time you associate mind to the brain, but it's not just the brain here. There are a lot of nerve cells across our body that also has intelligence. So it's like you can visualize brain or your body is the hardware, but mind is the software. Mind is what makes your body function. But I hope that clarifies. During Anapana, the breath timeline is getting short, which is okay as long as you don't feel uncomfortable. Your breath will become shorter as you continue to go deeper into Anapanasati meditation, right? So, like I mentioned, the first day we have that 5.5 to 6 breaths. You don't need to do anything. Just practicing Anapanasati will automatically get you there. When you're in the deep states of meditation, will automatically your breath slows down. That's why they say yogis live longer. The shorter the number of breaths, the longer you can live. That's what he said. Following the breath, didn't feel any difference between with noticing the breath. What is to be done? Nothing. You just follow your breath, follow the path of your breath. Your breath is going from here to here to here, right? That's what you do. Still, it's observing the breath. Observing the breath in a limited area is step one. Observing your breath to a broader area is step two. Observing your breath throughout your body is step three. We will get there. All right. So with that, my dear friends, so no more questions on the chat or any hands raised. So we will end for today. I know it's been a longer session. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day and have a mindful day. Be conscious of all the activities that you are doing and try to practice mindful eating, mindful walking, or any activity that you do. And you can also practice meditation for a few more minutes during the later part of the day. That have a wonderful day. Thank you very much and see you tomorrow.